Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 3, Krishna is the source of all incarnations, Text 15. रूपं स जगृहे मात्स्यं चाक्षुषोदधि सम्प्लवे नाव्यारोप्य महीमय्याम् अपाद्वैवस्वतं मनुम्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaраvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Srila Sutta Goswami continued. When there was a complete inundation during the period of the Chakshusha Manu, and the whole world was deep within water, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vaivasvata Manu, keeping him on a boat. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. According to Sripada Sridhara Swami, the original commentator on the Bhagavatam, there is not always a devastation after the change of every Manu. And yet, this inundation after the period of Chakshusha Manu took place in order to show some wonders to Satyavrata. But Sri Jiva Goswami has given definite proofs from authoritative scriptures like Vishnu Dharmottara, Markandeya Purana, Harivamsha, etc., that there is always a devastation after the end of each and every Manu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has also supported Srila Jiva Goswami, and he, Srila Chakravarti, has also quoted from Bhagavatamrita about this inundation after each Manu. Apart from this, the Lord, in order to show special favor to Satyavrata, a devotee of the Lord, in this particular period, incarnated himself. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So in this 15th shloka, it is described about the Matsya Avatara, the fish incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said, Rupam sa jagruhe matsyam. Rupam means form, Saha means he, the Supreme Lord, Jagruhe, accepted, Matsyam, of a fish. He accepted the form of a fish. When did he accept? Chakshushoshadhi Samplave. Chakshusha means during the time of Chakshusha Manu. Udadhi Samplave. Udadhi means water. Samplave, when there was inundation, when the whole earth was submerged in the inundation waters during the Pralaya period, this Lord accepted the form of a fish. Navyaropya Mahi Mayam. And a boat, Navi means boat, Aropya, keeping on, Mahi, the earth, Mayam, drowned in, Apat, protected, Vaivasvata Manum, protected Vaivasvata Manu, the son, the father of mankind. So, keeping a boat tied to the horn of Matsya Avatara, the Lord protected the Vedas, the Lord also protected the all the living entities along with Vaivasvata Manu, the father of mankind. So this Matsya Avatara talks about Two things. One is the Lord can accept any form, and all the forms are transcendental, never material, never infected by the qualities of the modes of material nature. Secondly, for the sake of protecting his devotee, the Lord surely comes. Here, Satyavrata was the devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Lord personally appeared in advance and told Satyavrata that 7 days from now there will be a pralaya, the whole earth will be inundated with water. At that time, I shall come in this special form as Matsya and I shall protect you. So, the protection of the devotees is always the primary purpose of the Supreme Lord's incarnations. In the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the last chapter, chapter 24, deals with the description of the Matsya Avatara. So we will read from this particular chapter, and we will discuss more details about the Matsya Avatara. As we know, in the Dashavatara, the first Avatara is Matsya. The Lord appeared as a huge giant fish, and we all know the famous Dashavatara Stotra composed by Srila Jayadev Goswami, the very first shloka. Pralayapayodi jale dritavanasi vedam vihita vidita vahitra charitram akhedam keshava dhruta meena sharira jay jagadisha hari. So the first shloka describes that the Supreme Lord appeared as a huge meena, as a fish, and he protected the Vedas from being drowned in the ocean of inundation. So Veda Uddhara is the primary purpose of Matsya Avatara. Along with the Vedas, Manu, Vaivasvata Manu also was protected. Actually, the king Satyavrata later on became Vaivasvata Manu. So Satyavrata was the devotee of the Lord who was protected, and he was appointed by the Lord as Manu. So let us read from the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 24th chapter. We shall read the translations and try to understand more about the Matsya Avatar. Maharaj Parikshit said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari is eternally situated in his transcendental position, yet he descends to this material world and manifests himself in various incarnations. His first incarnation was that of a great fish. O most powerful Shukadev Goswami, I wish to hear from you the pastimes of that fish incarnation. So here, Parikshit Maharaj himself is asking Shukadev Goswami to describe about the Matsya Avatara. Parikshit Maharaj continued, what was the purpose for which the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepted the abominable form of a fish, exactly as an ordinary living being accepts different forms under the laws of karma? The form of a fish is certainly condemned and full of terrible pain. O my Lord, what was the purpose of this incarnation? Kindly explain this to us, for hearing about the pastimes of the Lord is auspicious for everyone. So, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, why did the Lord accept such a form? This form of a fish is actually abominable in the estimation of material understanding, isn't it? In the material world, the fish life is very abominable. Why it is abominable? Because there is no security. Even though the fish lives in such a huge water body, maybe in the river or maybe in the ocean, but the smaller fish is always eaten by the bigger fishes. There is no security of life in the water. And secondly, the body of fish is not very fragrant. You know, we might have experienced while traveling, maybe if we come across any fish market, the smell will be very, very abominable, very, very, intolerable smell it will be, isn't it? So this is called Matsya Gandha. Gandha means smell. Matsya Gandha means the smell of a fish is actually very, very intolerable, at least to Sattvic people. People who are in the mode of goodness cannot stand this smell at all. And also, the body of a fish, I mean, it is not protected well in the water. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking, the form of a fish is very abominable. Why did the Supreme Lord Hari accept such a form? Just like living entities accept various bodies according to the law of karma, the Lord has also accepted this particular form of a fish. Why has he accepted? I want to know. Oh, Shukadev Goswami, please explain this to me. So, Suta Goswami said, when Parikshit Maharaj thus inquired from Shukadev Goswami, that most powerful saintly person began describing the pastimes of the Lord's incarnation as a fish. So, one important thing to understand is, even though the Lord accepted the form of a fish, it appears to be like any other fish externally, but since the Lord has accepted that form is no more material, it is no more abominable, it is actually transcendental. That is what Shukadev Goswami will be explaining now. Let us see what Shukadev Goswami said. Verse 5. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, O king, for the sake of protecting the cows, brahmanas, demigods, devotees, the Vedic literature, religious principles, and principles to fulfill the purpose of life, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts the forms of incarnation. So before getting into the specific details of Matsya Avatara, Shukadev Goswami is talking about the general purpose of incarnations of the Supreme Lord. So he says, why does the Supreme Lord appear as various incarnations? To protect the cows, the brahmanas, the demigods, devotees. All these are very important characteristic features of civilized human society. Cow protection, brahmanas, devatas, the devotees, the Vedic literatures, religious principles, dharma. Dharma has to be upheld. And the principles that fulfill the purpose of life. For the protection of all these things, the Supreme Lord comes in various incarnations. That is what Shukadev Goswami said. Shukadev Goswami continued, like the air passing through different types of atmosphere, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing sometimes as a human being and sometimes as a lower animal, is always transcendental. Because he is above the material modes of nature, he is unaffected by higher and lower forms. So, this is a very important thing. The Supreme Lord is Nirguna. Nirguna means he is free from the influence of the three gunas. It is the three gunas which actually condition us to this material existence. But Harirhi Nirguna Sakshat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is always above the influence of the three modes of material nature. Therefore, whatever forms he accepts, they are unaffected by material nature. So we should not think that the Lord's Matsya form is like abominable form of a fish that we see in this material world. It is not. That is what Shukadev Goswami first of all clarified. Text 7. O King Parikshit, at the end of the past millennium, at the end of Brahma's day, because Lord Brahma sleeps during the night, annihilation took place, and the three worlds were covered by the water of the ocean. So now the specific details about why the Lord appeared as Matsya are being discussed here from this verse onwards. So there was a Amshika Pralaya, partial annihilation. There are two types of Pralaya, Amshika Pralaya and Sampurna Pralaya. Amshika means partial annihilation. The partial annihilation happens at the end of Brahma's one day when he goes to take rest, when he sleeps. And the Sampurna Pralaya happens at the end of Brahma's life, where the entire universe is dismantled or it is annihilated. So in the Amshika Pralaya, the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems, are inundated with water. So Matsya Avatara happened during the end of Brahma's day, that is during the partial annihilation. Text 8. At the end of Brahma's day, when Brahma felt sleepy and desired to lie down, the Vedas were emanating from his mouth, and the great demon named Hayagriva stole the Vedic knowledge. So when Brahma slept, so the Vedas are actually the Apta Vachana, the words spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The breathing of Narayana is actually the Vedas, and those Vedas were imparted by the Supreme Lord Narayana to Lord Brahma. So when Lord Brahma felt asleep, when he was sleeping, from his mouth came out the Vedas, right? And these Vedas, which were required for Brahma for his own purpose of creation, and also which was required for the humanity, those Vedas were stolen by a demon whose name was Hayagriva. Why did the demon steal the Vedas? Because Hayagriva wanted to deprive the entire creation of Vedic knowledge. Right? This is the activity of the demons. The demons cannot withstand the activities of the devotees of the Lord. Wherever there is Brahmanical culture flourishing, wherever there is cow protection, wherever there is Vedic knowledge taught, wherever Vedic knowledge is flourishing, the demons want to destroy all those places and all these people connected with that. So Hayagriva demon thought that if I steal the Vedas, there will be no more Vedic knowledge spread in human society. Then our demonic activities can go on without any problem. Nobody will oppose our demonic activities. This is what the demon thought. So Hayagriva also thought that the Vedas contain information about how to perform yajnas and worship the Supreme Lord and the Devatas through the process of yajna. And it is through the process of yajna that the Devatas are becoming powerful. So if the source of yajna, the source code is itself destroyed, the Vedas are destroyed, then there will be no more yajna performances. So therefore the Devatas will become weak and demons can become strong. This was the thinking of the demon Hayagriva. Therefore he stole the Vedas from Brahmaloka, from Lord Brahma. In fact, in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which talks about the divine and the demoniac natures, Lord Krishna explains the thinking of the demons. Ishvaroham aham bhogi. This is what the demons think. The demons think that I am Ishvara, I am the Supreme Lord, I am bhogi, I am the Supreme Enjoyer. These are the thoughts which drive the lives of demoniac persons. So therefore they always oppose the Lord's plans. The Vedas are directly the instructions given by the Lord. Therefore, this demon Hayagriva wanted to destroy the Vedas. That is why he stole the Vedas. Let's see what happened next. Understanding the acts of the great demon Hayagriva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who is full of all opulences, assumed the form of a fish and saved the Vedas by killing the demon. So Prabhupada says, because everything was inundated by water, to save the Vedas, it was necessary for the Lord to assume the form of a fish. Why particularly the Lord had to accept the form of a fish only to save the Vedas and to kill the demon Hayagriva? Because everywhere there was water. And in the water only aquatics can live. Isn't it? Of course, the Supreme Lord could have come in his original form in the water of inundation and still he could have killed Hayagriva. Isn't it? Nothing is impossible for the Lord. But still, the Lord displays his transcendental opulence. He says that no material condition can impede my activities. Even though the whole world is filled with water, in the water I can come as fish and I can do my business of saving the Vedas and killing the demon Hayagriva. So in this way, the Lord appeared as the fish Matsya and he killed the demon, rescued the Vedas, saved the Vedas. Now let's continue. During the Chakshusha Manvantara, there was a great king named Satyavrata who was a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Satyavrata performed austerities by subsisting only on water. So far what was discussed was one instance where Matsyavatara appeared. That is during the Swayambhuva Manvantara at the end. During that time when Brahma went to sleep and there was a partial annihilation, that is during the beginning of the Swayambhuva Manvantara. That time the Lord appeared, killed the Hayagriva demon and restored the Vedas. Now again, another time the Lord appeared as Matsya Avatara. That means two times the Lord appeared as Matsya Avatara. The second time was during the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara, about whom we just now read, about which we just now read in the shloka of the first canto. So here it is said, at the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara, the Lord again appeared as Matsya, and this time he appeared just to protect King Satyavrata, to show special favor upon Satyavrata, because Satyavrata Muni was a great devotee of the Supreme Lord. He was performing tapasya, austerities, simply subsisting on water. And the purpose of his tapasya was to please the Supreme Lord. Therefore, to show favor on King Satyavrata, for the second time at the end of Chakshusha Manvantara, the Lord appeared as Matsya Avatara. Shukadev Goswami continued, in this, that is the present millennium, King Satyavrata later became the son of Vivaswan, the king of the sun god, sun planet, and was known as Shraddha Deva. By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was given the post of Manu. So this person Satyavrata, who was a devotee of the Supreme Lord, the king, he later on became, he was living in the end of Chakshusha Manvantara, but by the blessings of the Supreme Lord, he again appeared in the next Manvantara, the present Manvantara in which we are living, which is called Vaivasvata Manvantara. Here he appeared as the son of the sun god Vivaswan, and he was given the name Shraddha Deva. It is this Shraddha Deva who actually was given the post of Manu. That means he is the Vaivasvata Manu. It is about this Vaivasvata Manu only Lord Krishna makes a mention in the beginning of the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Shukadev Goswami continued. One day, so here is the pastime of how actually the Supreme Lord appeared as Matsya to show favor on King Satyavrata, his dear devotee. One day, while King Satyavrata was performing austerities by offering water on the bank of the river Kritamala, a small fish appeared in the water in his palms. Satyavrata, the king of Dravida Desha, threw the fish into the water of the river along with the water in his palm, O King Parikshit, descendant of Bharata. So this is the pastime of King Satyavrata. Satyavrata king was ruling Dravida Desha, that means South India, and there he had gone to the river called Kritamala. Even today there is a river called Kritamala. Some time ago we had a 4+ trip to Kerala Divya Deshams. So we visited a temple called Tiruvattar, one of the 108 Divya Deshams. And this Tiruvattar temple, Lord is known as Adi Keshava Perumal. He is lying down on the Ananta Shesha. And it is this temple which was visited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during his South India travel. And it is in this temple that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found the manuscript of Brahma Samhita. So he got a copy of this manuscript and he brought it back to Bengal when he came back after the South India trip. And that is how we all have this Brahma Samhita 5th chapter. Only the 5th chapter is remaining. So here, why I mentioned this is the Adikeshava Perumal temple at Tiruvattar. It is lying on the banks of this river Kritamala. Kritamala is a river which is flowing even now. And this river this Maharaj Satyavrata, who was a great devotee, he had gone there to do his ablutions and also to offer water on the banks of the river Kritamala. So, how is water offered? A palmful of water is taken from the river, and by chanting the mantras, again the water is offered back like this to the river. So, it is by in Kannada, there is a song composed by Purandara Dasaru. Kereya Neeranu Kerege Chelli. You take the water from the river, from the lake, and offer it back to the river. Just by doing this, you get lot of pious credits. That is how the Ganga river or any sacred river is worshipped. You take a part of Ganga river and offer it back to Ganga river. That is the way of worshipping. And just by doing this, one acquires lot of pious credits. So this is called Arghya Pradana, and especially during specific times of Sandhya Kala, during the three Sandhyas of the day, it is recommended to perform that Arghya, Sandhya Vandana in the holy rivers like this. So when King Satyavrata was performing this Arghya Pradana in the Kritamala river, a fish appeared in his palm. So he thought it was by accident a small fish appeared. He thought by accident the fish has appeared. So therefore he threw the fish back into the water. So let's see what happened next. With an appealing voice, the poor small fish said to King Satyavrata, who was very merciful, "My dear king, protector of the poor, why are you throwing me in the water of the river where there are other aquatics who can kill me? I am very much afraid of them." So when the fish was thrown off by Maharaj Satyavrata, the fish started speaking. You know, Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha. The Lord's activities in any form are always wonderful. Adbhuta. We have never heard a fish speaking like that, isn't it? But this fish was speaking because he is not an ordinary fish. He is transcendental. He is the supreme personality of Godhead himself. He said, "Why are you throwing me away again? There are so many other aquatics which will kill me and eat me. Therefore, please show mercy upon me. Do not throw me into this fish, into this water body, because I am very much afraid." So there is a nyaya in the Sanskrit called as Matsya Nyaya. Matsya Nyaya means the logic of the fish. What is the logic of the fish? The logic of the fish is small fish is eaten by the big fish. This is the law in the material world. Small fish is always eaten by the big fish. That means small or weak people are always overpowered by the stronger people. And ultimately, everybody is overpowered by Kala. Nobody can resist Kala's effects because Kala is directly the supreme personality of Godhead himself. So he said, "I'm very afraid. Please don't throw me into this river." To please himself, King Satyavrata, not knowing that the fish was the supreme personality of Godhead, decided with great pleasure to give the fish protection. So Satyavrata Maharaj, after hearing these words of the fish, thought that let me give protection to this fish. He was not knowing that it is the Supreme Lord in the form of a fish. So he decided to give protection. So what did he do to give protection? The merciful king, being moved by the pitiable words of the fish, placed the fish in a water jug and brought him to his own residence. So the king had a kamandalu, a water pot, a water jug. So that small fish, he put it inside that jug and brought it to his residence. But in one night, that fish grew so much that he could not move his body comfortably in the water of the pot. He then spoke to the king as follows: "Oh, my dear king, I do not like living in this water pot with such great difficulty. Therefore, please find some better reservoir of water where I can live comfortably." Right? So, within one night, the fish grew in size. It was finding it very difficult to live in that small pot. Initially, the fish was very small. Now it has become big. So the fish started saying, "Oh, King Satyavrata, be merciful unto me. Give me a bigger place to live. I cannot live in this way, suffocating in this small pot." Then, taking the fish out of the water pot, the king threw him in a large well. But within a moment, the fish developed to the height of 3 cubits. So, what did Satyavrata Maharaj do? He took the fish and threw it into a large well. But within a few moments, the fish became very big. It grew into its length increased to 3 cubits. So 1 cubit means about 52 centimeters. So that means 52 into 3, almost 150 cubits, 150 centimeters. The fish became so big, right? 150 centimeter means 1.5 meters. 1.5 meters. 100 centimeter is 1 meter. So 1.5 meters it became long. The fish then said, "My dear king, this reservoir of water is not fit for my happy residence. Please give me a more extensive pool of water, for I have taken shelter of you." So even that place was not sufficient. Again, the fish started speaking. So here also I am not comfortable. Please give me a bigger place so that I can live happily. O Maharaj Parikshit, Shukadev Goswami said, the king took the fish from the well and threw him in a lake. But the fish then assumed a gigantic form exceeding the extent of the water. The fish then said, O king, I am a large aquatic, and this water is not at all suitable for me. Now kindly find some way to save me. It would be better to put me in the water of a lake that will never reduce. So, from well, from Kamandalu to a well, from well now to a large water body, that is a lake, and even that lake became insufficient because the fish started growing in size. And the fish said, please put me in a bigger lake where the water will never reduce. Right? Let's see what happened. When thus requested, King Satyavrata took the fish to the largest reservoir of water. But when that also proved insufficient, the king at last threw the gigantic fish into the ocean. So, whichever largest reservoir of water he found, he put the fish there, but that also became insufficient because the fish grew in size. Then finally, King, King Satyavrata put the fish into the ocean, into the Samudra, ocean, which is the largest of all water bodies existing on this planet, isn't it? Then let's see what happened. While being thrown in the ocean, the fish said to King Satyavrata, O hero, in this water there are very powerful and dangerous sharks that will eat me. Therefore, you should not throw me in this place. So the king, again the fish is speaking. See, in this ocean there are so many dangerous aquatic animals like sharks, and they can kill me, they can eat me. So please don't throw me into this ocean. After hearing these sweet words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of a fish, the king, being bewildered, asked him, who are you, sir? You simply bewilder us. Right? He says, Ko bhavan asman Matsya rupena mohayan. Ko bhavan. Bhavan means in a very respectful way. In the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna offers prayers to Krishna, right? Param Brahma, Parandhama, Pavitram, Paramam, Bhavan. The word Bhavan is used. And Prabhupada explains there, Bhavan is used to address respectable persons, superiors or elderly people. Till then, Krishna and Arjuna were contemporaries, they were speaking like friends. Of course, Krishna was accepted as a guru in the beginning of second chapter itself by Arjuna, but still, now when Arjuna actually realized that Krishna is not an ordinary person, after hearing from him in the first 9 chapters, that time, for the first time, Arjuna addresses Krishna with the word Bhavan. Bhavan means respectable person, like that. So here, King Satyavrata also understood that this fish is not an ordinary fish. Initially, Satyavrata Maharaj had thought that this is an ordinary fish. So he was trying to give it shelter and protection to the fish. But when he saw that the fish was able to speak and it was also able to expand its body beyond the limitations of so many aquatic bodies, immediately uh, Maharaj Satyavrata understood that this is not an ordinary fish. Therefore, he is asking, Tamaha ko bhavan asman? Ko bhavan, who are you? And Matsya Rupena Mohayan, you have appeared in this fish form and you are bewildering. Mohayan, you are bewildering me. Who are you? Like that. So then Satyavrata Maharaj continued. My lord, in one day you have expanded yourself for hundreds of miles, covering the water of the river and the ocean. Before this, I had never seen or heard of such an aquatic animal. All the forms of the Lord are like this only. They are Adrishtapurvam, right? Adrishtapurvam. Even when Lord Narasimha Deva appeared from the pillar, it is described that even the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, who is the constant companion of the Lord, even she had not seen such a ferocious form of the Lord. Adrishtapurvam, not seen before. So here also, Maharaj Satyavrata is saying, I have never heard of, right? Shrutopiva, Drushtopiva. I had never heard of such a Vichitra, you are such a Vichitra Jalachara, aquatic animal. I had never heard about such an aquatic animal, nor had seen. So who are you? Huh? You have grown, expanded your body into hundreds of miles within one day. So who are you? Like this, he is asking. Then he says, My Lord, you are certainly the inexhaustible supreme personality of Godhead Narayana, Sri Krishna, Sri Hari. It is to show your mercy to the living entities that you have now assumed the form of an aquatic. So Satyavrata Maharaj, he came to a conclusion, seeing the wonderful activities of that fish. He said, Noonam tvam bhagavan sakshad harir narayano avyayaha. Definitely, you are directly the supreme personality of Godhead, Narayana, Sri Hari. And you have appeared for Anugrahaya Bhutanam, Dhatse Rupam Jalaukasam. You have appeared just to show your Anugraha, your special mercy upon all the living entities. You have appeared in this aquatic form. Then Satyavrata Muni starts offering prayers to Matsya Avatara. Very beautiful prayers. Namaste Purusha Shrestha Stityutpatya Apyavyeshwara Bhaktanam Nah Prapannanam Mukhyo Hi Atmagatir Vibho. So he says, O my dear Lord, Master of creation, maintenance and annihilation, O best of the enjoyers, Lord Vishnu, you are the leader and destination of surrendered devotees like us. Therefore, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Sarve Leelavataras Bhutanam Bhutihe Tavaha Jnatum Ichham Yado Rupam Yadartham Bhavata Dhrutam. All your pastimes and incarnations certainly appear for the welfare of all living entities. Therefore, my Lord, I wish to know the purpose for which you have assumed this form of a fish. Nateravindakshapadopasparshanam mrisha bhavet sarva suhrit priyatmanaha yatetaresham pritagatmanam satam adidrisho yadvapuradbhutam hinaha. These are all the prayers offered by Maharaj Satyavrata. Maharaj Satyavrata continued to pray, O my Lord, possessing eyes like the petals of a lotus, the worship of the demigods who are in the bodily concept of life is fruitless in all respects. But because you are the supreme friend and dearmost super soul of everyone, worship of your lotus feet is never useless. You have therefore manifested your form as a fish. Right? So he's saying worshipping the devatas is fruitless because you get only temporary benefits, but you are the supreme personality of Godhead. You have appeared in this special form just to show your mercy to all of us. So then Shukadev Goswami continued. When King Satyavrata spoke in this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who at the end of the Yuga had assumed the form of a fish to benefit his devotee and enjoy his pastimes in the water of inundation, responded as follows. So it is very important. In Bhagavatam, you will find this. Whenever devotees offer prayers, the Lord will surely respond. This is the reciprocity of the Lord. In the Gajendra Moksha, one of the words used by Gajendra to address the Supreme Lord is Alayaya. Alayaya means the Lord who is never inattentive to the prayers offered by his sincere devotees. So the Lord always hears the prayers offered by sincere devotees. Not only he hears, he also responds. If we are sincere, the Lord will surely respond. This is this point again and again. Whenever the devotees have offered prayers, you see the Nagapatnis offered prayers, Kunti Maharani offers prayers in the first canto, the Devatas offer prayers to the Supreme Lord many times in the Bhagavatam. Lord Brahma offered prayers, Lord Shiva offered prayers to the Supreme Lord. Wherever the devotees have offered prayers to the Supreme Lord, the Lord has definitely responded, not only responded, he has also reciprocated. He has answered the prayers. So let us see what the Lord replies in answer to the prayers offered by King Satyavrata. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O King, who can subdue your enemies O King, who can subdue your enemies on the seventh day from today, the three words Bhu, Bhuvaha, and Swaha will all merge into the water of inundation. When all the three words merge into the water, a large boat sent by me will appear before you. Thereafter, O king, you shall collect all types of herbs and seeds and load them on that great boat. Then, accompanied by the seven rishis, Sapta rishis, and surrounded by all kinds of living entities, you shall get aboard that boat, and without moroseness, you shall easily travel with your companions on the ocean of inundation, the only illumination being the effulgence of the great rishis. Then, as the boat is tossed about by the powerful winds, attach the boat to my horn by means of the great serpent Vasuki, for I shall be present by your side. Pulling the boat with you and all the rishis in it, O king, I shall travel in the water of devastation until the night of Lord Brahma's slumber is over. Then the Lord said, You will be thoroughly advised and favored by me, and because of your inquiries, everything about my glories, which are known as Param Brahma, will be manifest within your heart. Thus you will know everything about me. After thus instructing the king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead immediately disappeared. Then King Satyavrata began to wait for that time of which the Lord had instructed. So here we understand the Lord is foretelling that after 7 days there will be a massive inundation, pralaya will happen, all the planetary systems will be merged in water. At that time, I will send a boat and I will also come and I will have a horn on my body, and with the help of Vasuki, you tie the boat to my horn, and you should collect all kinds of living entities, all seeds, and you should also bring all the Saptarishis, and you should also board the boat, and I will sail all of you across the water of inundation. As long as the inundation is not over, I shall personally, uh, I shall sail the boat across the river. And he also says, You can inquire about me at that time, and I shall reply to you all about myself. So, this conversation between Maharaj Satyavrata and Lord Matsya is recorded as Matsya Purana, the conversation. And the Matsya Purana is also one of the Mahapuranas, 18 Puranas. And in the Matsya Purana, The glories of the Supreme Lord are described by the Lord Himself in response to the questions asked by Satyavrata Maharaj. You can see the Lord not only protects all the living entities and the Saptarishis, the Lord also, during that inundation, during the Pralaya, the Lord answers, replies to the questions asked by Maharaj Satyavrata, which itself shows that the Lord is transcendental. It's not an ordinary fish. So, after receiving these instructions, what did Maharaj Satyavrata do? After spreading Kusha with its tips pointing east, the saintly king himself facing the northeast sat down on the grass and began to meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who had assumed the form of a fish. So he was constantly remembering and meditating that Matsya Avatara form, and he was waiting for that time to arrive, for the Lord to again appear and protect everyone. Thereafter, gigantic clouds pouring incessant water swelled the ocean more and more. Thus, the ocean began to overflow onto the land and inundate the entire world. So, this is one of the ways in which Pralaya happens when the whole world becomes inundated with water. That means the oceans, which are right now restricted in their boundaries, will swell up, and the continents, the land also will get filled up with the ocean water. There will be no difference between land and ocean during the time of Pralaya. As Satyavrata remembered the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he saw a boat coming near him. Thus, he collected herbs and creepers, and accompanied by saintly Brahmanas, he got aboard the boat. So, as the Lord had mentioned, the boat came and he collected all the living entities, all the seeds and creepers and herbs. Along with the Saptarishis, he boarded the boat. The saintly Brahmanas, being pleased with the king, said to him, O king, please meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Keshava. He will save us from this impending danger and arrange for our well being. Then, while the king constantly meditated upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a large golden fish appeared in the ocean of inundation. The fish had one horn and was 8 million miles long. You can just imagine the proportion, the gigantic size of this Matsya Avatara. 8 million miles long. That was the length of the body of the fish. And this fish also had a golden complexion, and this fish also had a horn on its head. Following the instructions formally given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the king anchored the boat to the fish's horn using the serpent Vasuki as a rope. Thus, being satisfied, he began offering prayers to the Lord. So, again, he offered prayers to the Lord. So this is the uh, mentality of a devotee. The consciousness of a devotee is whenever he finds an opportunity, he will not miss the chance to glorify the Supreme Lord and offer prayers to the Lord. Earlier also, Maharaj Satyavrata had offered prayers to Matsya Avatara. Now also he is offering prayers when the Lord actually came for protecting everyone. So the Maharaj Satyavrata said, Shri Rajo Vacha Anadi Avidyopahatatma Samvidaha Tanmula Samsara Parishamat Aturaha Yadruchaya Asprishta Yam Apnuyar Vimuktidona Paramo Gurur Bhavan. Again, he is using the word Bhavan, your lordship. Bhavan means your holy, your greatness, your highness, like that. The king said, by the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self knowledge since time immemorial and who, because of this ignorance, are involved in a material, conditional life full of miseries, obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept that Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Spiritual Master. So, in the very first prayer, Maharaj Satyavrata is saying, it is by your mercy that the conditioned souls who are suffering in this material world get an opportunity to meet the devotees of the Lord. So therefore, you are the supreme spiritual master who arranges for the meeting of devotees who bring the good news of Krishna consciousness to the suffering humanity. जनो बुधोऽयं निज कर्म बन्धनः सुखेच्छया कर्म समीहते सुखम् यत्सेवया तां विदुनोति असन्मतिम् ग्रन्थिं स विन्ध्या दृढं स नो गुरुः. So again, he is addressing the Supreme Lord as Guru, the Supreme Spiritual Master. He says, in hopes of becoming happy in this material world, the foolish conditioned soul performs fruitive activities that result only in suffering. But by rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from such false desires for happiness. May my Supreme Spiritual Master cut the knot of false desires from the core of my heart. See, what is he praying? Satyavrata Maharaj is teaching all of us also what to pray to the Lord. He's saying, may the Lord be pleased with me so that all the foolish material desires within my heart will become destroyed. Again, he offers another prayer. Yat sevayagnevi varudra rodanam puman vijahyan malamatmanastamaha bhajeta varnam nijamesha sovyayo bhuya sayesha paramo gurur guruhu. So here he is saying, Paramo gurur guruhu. You are the guru of all gurus and you have appeared now. Oh, one who wants to be free of material entanglement should take to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and give up the contamination of ignorance involving pious and impious activities. Thus, one regains his original identity just as a block of gold or silver sheds all dirt and becomes purified when treated with fire. May that inexhaustible Supreme Personality of Godhead become our spiritual master, for he is the original spiritual master of all other spiritual masters. A very beautiful analogy has been used in this prayer by Maharaj Satyavrata. He says, just like a block of gold or silver, when it sheds the dirt, it becomes purified when it is treated with fire and it starts glowing more effulgently. In the same way, a living entity, when he becomes engaged in the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes free from all material contamination and he can regain his original effulgence, original happiness. That's a very beautiful analogy. Another prayer, Nayat Prasadayuta Bhagalesham Anye cha Deva Guravo Jana Swayam Kartum Sameta Prabhavanti Pumsaha Tamishwaram Tvam Sharanam Prapadye. So now he is saying, Sharanam Prapadye. I take shelter at your lotus feet. I surrender to you. So what is Satyavrata Maharaj saying in this verse? Neither all the demigods, nor the so-called gurus, nor all other people, either independently or together, can offer mercy that equals even 1/10,000th of your mercy. Therefore, I wish to take shelter of your lotus feet. It's a very beautiful prayer, isn't it? All the devatas combined, all the so-called gurus, all people, human beings combined, either independently or together, if they offer all mercy, that mercy cannot compare to even 1/1000 of the mercy offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, I surrender to you, isn't it? That's why we say, oh, hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. Krishna is Karuna Sindhu, he is an ocean of mercy. No one's mercy can be even compared to the mercy offered by Krishna. Because everyone others, including the Devatas, can only give material benefits, but the mercy of Krishna can give us complete perfection, can give us eternal life full of knowledge and bliss in the association of Krishna himself in the spiritual world. Maharaj Satyavrata continues to offer his prayers. Achakshurandhasya yatha granitritah तथा जनस्या विदिशो अभूत गुरुः त्वमर्कदृक् सर्वदृशां समीक्षणो वृतो गुरुर्न स्वगतिं बुभुत्सताम्. He says, as a blind man, being unable to see, accepts another blind man as his leader, people who do not know the goal of life accept someone as a guru who is a rascal and a fool. But we are interested in self realization. Therefore, we accept you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as our spiritual master. For you are able to see in all directions and are omniscient like the sun. So, example of blind man following another blind man. What is the use? It's of no use. Both are going to fall into a ditch. The same example is given by Prahlad Maharaj also in his prayers to Narasimhadeva in the seventh canto of Bhagavatam. So foolish people accept, uh, unauthorized people as their guru, and in this way they all fall into a hellish region. So what is the use of accepting such unauthorized people? So the Satyavrata Muni is saying, I accept you as the Supreme Personality of Godhead because I am actually interested in self-realization. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that anybody who is actually interested in self-realization must accept the Supreme Lord Krishna or his bona fide representative and carry out their instructions very, very seriously so that one can attain the highest perfection. Jano janasya satim gatim yaya prapadyet durathyayam tamaha tvam avyayam jnanam amodha manjasa prapadyate yena jano nijam padam. So what happens when we actually surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that is mentioned in this prayer? Maharaj Satyavrata said, a materialistic so-called guru instructs his materialistic disciples about economic development and sense gratification. And because of such instructions, the foolish disciples continue in the materialistic existence of ignorance. But your lordship gives knowledge that is eternal, and the intelligent person receiving such knowledge is quickly situated in his original constitutional position. So the difference between fake guru and real guru is mentioned here in this verse. Fake guru simply talks about material topics. Fake guru gives instructions on how to prosper materially and try to make a settlement in this material world. But a real guru, who is a 10% representative of the Supreme Lord, gives transcendental knowledge which awakens us to reality and which helps us to become situated in our original constitutional position as servant of Krishna. Jiver Swarup Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. Our original Swarupa is that we are eternal servants of Krishna. Only a bona fide spiritual master can teach us how to render service to the Supreme Lord. I will take another 10-15 minutes extra. I'll finish this chapter. Tvam sarvalokasya suhrit priyeshvaro hyatma gurur jnanam abhishta siddhihi tathapi loko na bhavantam andhadhir janati santam hrudi baddha kamaha. So Satyavrata Muni continued, my lord, not sage, the king Satyavrata continued, my lord, you are the supreme well-wishing friend of everyone, the dearmost friend, the controller, the super soul, the supreme instructor, and the giver of the supreme knowledge and the fulfillment of all desires. But although you are within the heart, the foolish, because of lusty desires in the heart, cannot understand you. Actually, the Lord is a supreme truth. He is our supreme instructor. He is our supreme well-wisher. He is our dearmost friend. He is the Paramatma seated within us, within our heart. He is the nearest, dearest relative friend to us. But since we are foolish, because our heart is filled with kama, lusty desires, we are not able to understand Krishna. So this is definitely regrettable. The Lord is so close to us, He is so dear to us, but we don't understand Him. This is the greatest regret Satyavrata Maharaj is telling. A very similar verse appears in the seventh canto of Bhagavatam, where Narad Muni is praising the Pandavas, headed by Yudhishthir Maharaj. He says, you are the most fortunate people in this planet today because the Supreme Lord has become your friend, your relative, He has become your messenger, He has become your order carrier. and he is always present in your place only. Even though he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have conquered him, you have conquered Krishna by your devotional attitude and surrender. So, for the sake of the Pandavas, Krishna became everything because the Pandavas completely had surrendered to Krishna. So, if we surrender to Krishna completely, Krishna will reciprocate with us also completely. That is the meaning. Satyavrata Maharaj continues to offer prayers. Tvam tvamaham deva varam varenyam prapadya esham pratibodhanaya chindyartha bhagavan vachobher granthim hridayan vibruno swamak okaha. So he says, O Supreme Lord, for self-realization I surrender unto you, who are worshipped by the demigods as the supreme controller of everything. By your instructions, exposing life's purpose, kindly cut the knot from the core of my heart and let me know the destination of my life. So, Maharaj Satyavrata, he is pleading the Lord for the sake of self realization. I am surrendering to you. You please instruct me, because if you give instructions, all the ignorance from the core of my heart will be completely eradicated and I will be able to understand the supreme goal of life. So, from the very beginning, in this set of prayers that Maharaj Satyavrata offered, the Lord is addressed as Guru, because the intention of Satyavrata Maharaj is to get transcendental knowledge from the Supreme Lord. A very similar prayer, a very similar statement is made by Arjuna in the beginning of the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita to Lord Krishna. So Arjuna says, Karpanya doshopahata swabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I am surrendering to you, O Krishna, as a shishya, as a surrendered soul, as your disciple. You become my guru. Now I am confused about my duties. I am overcome by miserly weakness. You please tell me how to eradicate this miserly weakness. You tell me what is really Shreyaha for me, what is ultimately good for me. Please give me the transcendental knowledge. In this way, Arjuna pleaded to Krishna, and Krishna spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita to not only eradicate the ignorance of Arjuna, but of all of us. So, here also, when Maharaj Satyavrata is addressing the Supreme Lord Matsya to give instructions, Matsya Avatara, the Lord begins to instruct, and the instructions given by Matsya Avatara is codified, or it is mentioned in the Matsya Purana. So, in this way, Satyavrata Maharaj concluded his prayers. So, Shukadeva Goswami continued to narrate about the Matsya Avatara. Shukadeva Goswami continued, when Satyavrata had thus prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had assumed the form of a fish, the Lord, while moving in the water of inundation, explained to him the absolute truth. Right? He explained the absolute truth. The Supreme Personality of Godhead thus explained to King Satyavrata the spiritual science known as Sankhya Yoga, the science by which one distinguishes between matter and spirit. In other words, Bhakti Yoga, along with the instructions contained in the Puranas, the old histories, and the Samhitas. The Lord explained himself in all these literatures. So, upon being requested by Maharaj Satyavrata, as Lord Matsya was swimming in the ocean of inundation, he instructed the science of Bhakti Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. He instructed the knowledge by which one can distinguish between matter and spirit, and all this was instructed, which was compiled in the Matsya Purana. While sitting in the boat, King Satyavrata, accompanied by the great saintly persons, listened to the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in regard to self-realization. These instructions were all from eternal Vedic literatures, Brahma. Thus, the king and sages had no doubt about the absolute truth. So, when the Lord Himself explains about Himself, then there can be no doubt at all, isn't it? So Bhagavad Gita is also such knowledge. It is 100% pure because the Lord Himself has instructed this. In fact, Krishna says in the 7th chapter, very beginning, Krishna says, "My dear Arjuna, please listen to me so that you can fix your mind upon me and all your doubts can be vanquished. So please listen," like that. And then he starts giving the instructions. So here also, all the sages and King Satyavrata were blessed by the Lord because Lord personally described about himself the absolute truth as revealed in the Vedas. At the end of the last inundation, during the period of Swayambhuva Manu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead killed the demon named Hayagriva and delivered all the Vedic literatures to Lord Brahma when Lord Brahma awakened from sleeping. King Satyavrata was illuminated with all Vedic knowledge by the mercy of Lord Vishnu, and in this period he has now taken birth as Vaivasvata Manu, the son of the sun god. So you can see the same Satyavrata Maharaj later took birth as Vaivasvata Manu. Currently, he is living. He is the son of the sun god. He is the Manu who is administering this particular Manvantara period. That means, and even in this Manvantara period also, he received the Bhagavad Gita knowledge from his father Vivaswa. So in the previous life, he directly heard from Lord Matsya. In this life, he heard Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken by Krishna to the sun god Vivaswan from his father Vivaswan. So twice he has heard. So we have to keep hearing again and again. The more we hear about the Lord, the more our ignorance will be eradicated and we can become fixed up in the devotional service of the Lord. Now Shukadev Goswami is concluding this chapter by saying, this story concerning the great King Satyavrata and the fish incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is a great transcendental narration. Anyone who hears it is delivered from the reactions of sinful life. So simply by hearing about the activities of Matsya, which is a transcendental narration, Shukadev Goswami is saying one can be freed from all sinful reactions. One who narrates this description of the Matsya incarnation and King Satyavrata will certainly have all his ambitions fulfilled and he will undoubtedly return home back to Godhead. So even by narrating this incident, one can actually go back to Godhead. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who pretended to be a gigantic fish, who restored the Vedic literature to Lord Brahma when Lord Brahma awakened from sleep, and who explained the essence of Vedic literature to King Satyavrata and the great saintly persons. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta translations of the 8th canto, 24th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Matsya, the Lord's Fish Incarnation. So, this is about the Matsya Avatara. Twice the Lord appeared as Matsya. Once in the beginning of Chakshusha Manvantara to kill Hayagriva and to restore the Vedas back to Lord Brahma. Again during the Vaivasvata Manvantara, he appeared to King Satyavrata and he protected all the Saptarishis during the inundation period of annihilation. So with this, we come to the end of today's session. Today is Dwadashi. Dwadashi is also very, very glorious day to discuss more about the Lord's incarnations, the Lord's activities in various avatars. So therefore, I thought we should discuss in detail about the Matsya Avatara. So what we read today was from the 8th canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll close today. Okay, there are some questions. Let us see. On the chat, somebody has posted a question. Lakshmi Narayanan. Hare Krishna Prabhu, could you elaborate about Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Samhita, Itihasas? Okay. So the Vedic literatures are very vast. They are broadly categorized into two types, Shrutis and Smritis. Shruti means that which is heard directly from the Lord. The revelation of the Lord is called Shrutis. The Vedas and Upanishads come under the category called Shrutis. And the second category is called Smriti. Smriti means that which is remembered, recollected, and compiled by the great sages. That is called Smriti. So, Itihasas, that is Ramayana, Mahabharata, they are called Itihasas. And the 18 Puranas, 18 Upapuranas, uh, they are all coming under Smriti Shastras. Samhitas also come under Smriti because Samhitas are also compiled by great sages, like we have Parashara Samhita or Brahma Samhita, etc. So, Shrutis are Vedas and Upanishads. The Puranas, the Itihasas called Ramayana, Mahabharata, Samhitas, they all come under the category called Smritis. Now, Smritis are equally important as Shrutis. In fact, there are statements in the Vedas which say that without properly studying the Smritis under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, one will not be able to understand the real import of the Shrutis. So, Smritis are actually supplements of the Shrutis. And in the Bhagavatam, you will find this statement in the very beginning, in the first canto. Shruti, uh, it is said that the Shrutis are Traina Shruti Gocharam. It is said, Stri Shudra Dvijabandhunam Traina Shruti Gocharam. Those who are less intelligent people, for them, the Shrutis cannot be easily understood. Therefore, the great sage Veda Vyasadeva, who is a literal incarnation of the Supreme Lord, he has compiled the Mahabharata and the Puranas, which are called Panchama Veda. The Mahabharata and the Puranas, they are called as Panchama Veda. So, therefore, among all the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is said to be the foremost because uncompromisingly in Srimad Bhagavatam, the direct transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord, the signs of devotional service has been described. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is also called Puranam Brahma Samhitam. It is actually the commentary, the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. So, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Mahabharata, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of the Vedanta Sutras. And Mahabharata is the fifth Veda. That means Bhagavad Gita contains all the Vedic knowledge in the form of essence. And more elaborately, it is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, therefore, Srila Prabhupada has presented to us just like the Vedas were lost, it was lost in the water of inundation, and Matsya Avatara came and the Lord uh, restored the Vedas. In the same way, our spiritual master, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada, has restored the original meaning of the Vedas, the essence of the Vedic knowledge he has given to us, like Matsya. Therefore, he is the supreme, he is the spiritual master. That's why we call him as Vishwa Guru. Just like Matsya Avatara restored the Vedas back to the Vishwa, our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada traveled all over the world and spread the essence of the Vedic knowledge, that is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So hope that answers your question, Lakshmi Narayanan. Another question which is posted here by Ramki. The Lord appeared as Varaha, Kurma, Matsya, etc. Was it also to show that he is seated as Paramatma even in animals and other jivas? No, that was not the purpose. Of course, the Lord is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, even in the bodies of animals. But these forms of the Lord accepted these forms to show that nothing is impossible for him. He can appear in all species of life. And he can perform his activities in any condition, in any form. And all these forms are not material, these are all transcendental forms. Lakshmi Narayanan has again posted, also, is there any connection that Lord appeared 2 times as Lord Varaha and Matsya Avatara? What we should specifically learn from these pastimes? The Lord can appear any number of times in any form for the purpose of his mission. This is what we can understand. There is no limitation for the Lord. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. The Lord has got unlimited forms, and the Lord can also appear unlimited times. So that is, and also as I had mentioned in one of the classes before, the Lord has to come again and again to this material world because the material world is constantly changing, and there is always a party which is against the principles of dharma. Therefore, the Lord has to again and again come and annihilate the miscreants and establish the real principles of dharma. So that is what we understand. Hope that answers your question. So, yes, Ratnadeep says in some scriptures it is said that demon Hayagriva was killed by Hayagriva incarnation, isn't it? Yes, that is also, that's a different Hayagriva. So there was a demon who had a uh, horse head, and he had taken a benediction from Lord Brahma that he should be killed only by someone who looks like him only. So therefore, the Lord appeared as Hayashirsha or Hayagriva. He also appeared in the form of a horse-shaped, horse-headed demon, and he came and he killed the demon Hayagriva. So the Lord Hayagriva killed the demon Hayagriva, and this Hayagriva, his Jayanti, his appearance is also on the same day as Balaram Jayanti. Hayagriva's appearance is also on Balaram Purnima. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalam Spatikakritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. This is a prayer offered to Lord Hayagriva. So he is the spiritual master of goddess of learning, Saraswati, and it is he who actually imparted all Vedic knowledge to goddess Saraswati and to Lord Brahma also. So he is the Adharam Sarva Vidyanam. He is the origin of all the Vidyas, all the knowledge. So that's a different Hayagriva. This Hayagriva, which about whom we read today, who killed, this Matsya Avatara killed this demon Hayagriva. There was another demon Hayagriva who was killed by the Lord who also assumed the form of Hayagriva. That's a different incarnation, different demon. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.